Testing. Oh, something's wrong. Oh, come on. Morning. Be right here. Looks like subscription didn't go through, so I'm on a delay right now. So I'm making sure that this is first set before I do anything. Be right here. Wait a minute. It's again the same. Getting a bit annoyed with this. Let's go picture paper. Okay, so it looks like that's what's finished. Let me refresh this page. Everything should be, here we go. Should be ready. Okay. Here we are. Finally, I got my data back. Let me refresh the page for a second. Here we are. Okay, we're 7 minutes and open already. Let me share my screen for a second with the rest. So everybody on Discord knows that I'm in live. Okay, done. Good morning, everybody. Let's take a look where we at. Whew, what an opening. We dropped 300 points in an open. Now that's a decent one. Okay, first of all, before we start, let's set out previous week low and high so that we are a bit familiar where we're at. So previous week low has been taken. It looks very accurate. If we keep dropping, this looks this week we could go to 22,197. This would be my first area that we take a look at. Because the market could come back all the way to 20,000. This looks like a nice retest actually. So let's see if we can get to that low. Let's go previous day. Set them out. So previous day has been taken, previous day high, not yet. We did take a lot of liquidity from this one right here where we're at. I want to see now, do we act off of it and go back up? So fill up this gap first, or do we continue to fall right here? So if we zoom out, we go to an hourly. So this is our open. If you get a 15-minute shift, I would love to long off of this back to those opening. So let's take a 4 hour. So look, we're getting out of this range part. So we've been ranging for at least from November 21. This was a ranging part. We didn't go much higher. This is just, now we just broke the low. So we took out all liquidity right here. So there's no more left. Now we want to see what do we act right here. Do we continue to fall? And we just made a break of structure again to the downside. That means that we could have a retest of this back into this area and then continue to fall. So we can have two things right here. Or it wants to do this movement, or it just took liquidity and it will go all the way back to this high. So we got both options, small retests or a full continuation immediately, or going back to take this liquidity right here on a 4-hour base. So this can take a few days before we hit that level and then continue. Take everything off my screen right now, and we got 5 more minutes before open is done. Let me take Forex Factory for a second, see if we have news today. We have no news, nothing actually special, so should be good today. So on a lower time frame, what did we do? We made a small break of structure right here. We came back, so this is our retest off of it. Now I want to see, do we act or do we continue? Just because most of the liquidity right here has been taken. On a higher time frame, same. So what did we do? We continued lower. Here we made a new break of structure to the downside. So if you want to have a test off of this, we could go back all the way to that level of 50 before continuing lower. So this is what we need to take a look at. So this is that break of structure right here. So if we go back, we could go back to fair value of price. And that would mean actually the full opening that we have a retest off of it. So that would very nicely, that could be a nice long. So I want to see a small shift. If we see that shift, we could take it all the way back to this level. If we take that high, we can have a small retest back into that 500 for value gap. I'm long in this. So now we're taking the high. So if we close this 5 minute above and we get a retest onto this for value gap, I'm taking a long off of this. Stops at the low. I want to continue to long this. We definitely have a nice trade here. That's at least the 2R that we can make. And if we continue higher, then we could go back all the way to fair value of price. That could be a 4R. So that's definitely a decent trade. I do want to see a 5 minute close above. I don't want to see it go back inside. So I do want to have a candle close above it. So we got 5 more seconds. So this is a candle close above. That's great. Now I would love to see this get tapped. Once this is tapped, I'm entering along, but stops at the low. And entry limit order right now on 23,000. 862 limit long. I'll watch the chat in a minute, good people. I have not yet. Take the time. So if we get that tap, I'm entering along. So I'm not in a trade yet. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. So I'll put in a limit order. I need to go quickly to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Once I put it in by myself first. If the market does not decide to continue up, I will try another trade today. But this just took that liquidity. We are in a half hour for value gap, so the market did make a break to the downside. We did not have a full retest yet, and I know London likes to take that retest first before continuing. So we will see. So limit order long is in, and I have to take that quick bathroom break right now. Be right back. Okay, I'll take a look at the chat right now. Morning, Sam. Good morning. Good Grant. Rising. Morning, Virle. What is your entry trigger? Just stopped touching the level. I would usually want to see price except above 23,900 before I got in. Yeah, so I just saw a shift in structure. So this is why I did this. So this is a 15-minute shift in structure. It's a very clean candle. And if we have a 15-minute for value gap right here, and we do not go back to that 5-minute level, I would even enter it on that 15 minutes. Once we create a value gap, not yet. This is just following my own system constantly over and over again. The reason why I triggered, first of all, we had a shift in structure. We took liquidity, most of it. So if the market wants to continue, it's here, go back to that high, or we're gonna flush straight through it. I am not gonna be patient for anything else. I just keep doing the same thing over and over again. I wanna see that entry, so it's a limit. If we don't touch that limit, I'm not entering. Unless we get a 15-minute for value gap right here, and we get a tap of that 15 minutes in the next 15 minutes. But at this point, we're not yet anywhere. We're just sitting here. So I'll be patient and see what happens. Do we take out our low one more time? We take it out, and then we could just keep flushing down. But this was definitely worth the trade. That's almost a 4R that we can make once we get to that limit order. So I'm definitely taking this, no matter what. Would have been better if we kept holding above it, above this high, because this is just taking liquidity into a 30-minute per value gap to continue. Definitely possible too. Nonetheless, we had an hourly per value gap too. So is it possible that we sweep the lows one more time? Of course, because we are trading in a downtrend. But there is a huge possibility right here that we continue up. This is why I took this trade. I'm gonna take this trade. 13772. That is a 90-point stop, so that's a decent stop. But I don't see another entry part that we could take, so. Unless we got a lower for value gap. But the only place that you still could have taken a trade lower is actually 23,840, but not sure that we will get there. So if we don't get there, I'm definitely taking this first limit order. If I'm lucky, we can get maybe one lower, but we do need to get there first. And if the market starts rallying without us, I'm okay with it too. We will have a next for value gap that we could tap or join from. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. The market started flushing, like I said last week. Look at gold. I told you that we would go that low, so probably watch the live that we took. Silver the same. We took that low again, so we had a break of structure. We are now fully retesting this. Gold is the same. I see gold go at least to 3,947, and then we have a great opportunity to buy again. I would love to see it get to that level. If I see a small shift, then I'm definitely buying this because we could get up another 23%. Definitely a great trade to take. And I believe crypto is getting out of its winter sleep. We got about 3 more months, and then we will definitely get out of winter sleep. Or in a So in these 5 minutes, if we go up and we then tap that 15-minute, I'm entering on that 15-minute base too. That's definitely more than 100 points per trade for a trade. So that's 105 points. But will depend on the next 5 minutes how we close. live session of the day, trading live on YouTube. If you want to join, it's possible. You're always welcome. Limit orders are in, stops are set, and we have no patience until we get to our limit order. We will see if this trade goes correctly. Yeah, still doing my social, so anybody that new trading with me, we know already my trades can take up to 2-3 hours in a trade before having any profit. So be patient. Once we hit a level, we have time. We don't need to rush anything. Just stay calm, relaxed. It's just another trade. Hmm. Have we been doing well this month? Let's me take the journal. So last week we took 3 trades, or I took 3 trades. 5 are completed, and we're up this month with 13.8 R this month. I only took 9 trades this month, 6 profitables and 3 not profitable trades. Nice. Yeah, I don't scalp, but I knew that gold was going down. I'll even gonna explain why. So if you didn't watch my live last time, so you can still rewatch it. This was the reason why I knew we were gonna go. So this is a shift in structure right here. So we made a huge change in character with this candle. We even dropped even further, so we can just take from the high to the low. Look where it came back, 7-8 level. So this is a full retest off of it. That means that the market was going from here at least back to this week's low to make a new BOS to the downside. So now we have a full confirmation actually that the market is dropping, because this was a change in character and this is a break of structure. So once we have a full break of structure, this is a daily candle, by the way, guys, so this takes a while. That means that the market definitely goes down. Once we see a small shift back up, the market will take from this high to the new piece of break of structure and will go back at least to fair value price. So once we see a shift of a daily candle like this, an infinite candle, you will see that the market will return to the fair value price at least. So that would mean around 20,000, 24,006, but it will depend on how low, first of all, this break is. This can keep dropping too. So just be patient until you see a small shift, and then you can join a small long again to at least fair value price. So we got 19 seconds on this half-hour candle. This definitely looks nice. And overall, we're definitely moving lower in a bigger time frame, of course, but this is just a nice. That this was just good, too good looking for not taking it. If we do not tap that 5 minutes, I'm not in. I'm just gonna let this trade do its thing. And this is something that can happen too. But this is why we use a retest of movement, and there is also always a 15% chance that we actually never get that retest, that the market just starts moving higher without any sign of going back. And then we have to be okay. We're just letting go. We're here every day, or at least three times, 3 days a week that we trade live. So, and congrats, by the way, if you're $90 away from getting funded, I would definitely recommend. If you already took a nice profit today and you had 2 or 3 trades and they went well, I would close your book today and come back tomorrow. I would not trade again. And that's a recommendation. The reason why is it's you're euphoric, you're happy right now, and I want to keep it that way. It's better for your mindset to come back tomorrow and do the same thing over again than continuing trying to get the extra $90. It would not be worth it, or I would not find it worthy to trade for the extra $90. Because if you did not have a great trade, you could just give everything back out of emotional uncontrollable, and we want to definitely not try that. And now all we can do is be patient, see what the market brings. If we have another 15-minute candle somewhere where we can enter off it, I will definitely take that trade too. But for now, I'm leaving my limit order standing. It's still huge possibility that we go back down. I'll explain why. This is the last part of resisting that we have right here, that we could definitely go a little bit more lower. Can you explain your Fibonacci why you don't use projections? Can you rephrase that? I can explain my tool, my Fibonacci, how I use it, but I don't understand the last part. Yeah, if you're itching for the 90 bucks, go back tomorrow, man. I would definitely not trade again. Look, I've seen people give everything back that they made in 2 minutes. So I don't want anybody in here doing that. I want to just learn you to be okay with one profit a day. And that makes a lot of money, one profit a day. And then we have to stop. If you're here every day trading, you will not make more money by trading more. You will make more money by trading less. Always. Why don't you use projections? Let me copy this, set this in chat. Okay, yeah, so I understand what your projections is now. So how do I use my tool of Fibonacci? So I actually just use it to show clear where the market was headed to. So let's go to a higher time frame. Well, first, we swept liquidity right here. So we came back, we moved down. We had a change in character right here. Actually, this candle already on a 4-hour base. It showed that the market went down. We never had that retest. We continued. Now we made a break of structure from this high, and we continued. So if we take our tool and we take to that first part, look, we never came back to fair value of price, first of all. So on a 4-hour base, we never touched the higher price. Now, we did make a new break of structure to the downside. Nonetheless, we did not retest this. So if we put our tool once more, that means that the market should come back at least to fair value of price. And that's just above that opening. If the market should react to the high, to the upside, this is where it should do it. We swept liquidity, and the only thing that's still left right now, after taking November's low, the only liquidity that we have right here now is these equal lows, and that's at 23,000. So if we go down, we are moving at least to 23,000. But before we do this, I would actually love us to get a small retest into fair value of price and then continue to that movement. Once I see a shift on a 5-minute based or a 15-minute based, what we had actually, because check this candle. This is a huge bullish candle. So this made a changing character right here. So I wanted to see this get at least a tap of that 15-minute fair value gap to continue to the highs. If we do not get that tap right here, I'm not entering this. So what am I waiting for then? I want to see if we shift structure, whether the market wants to go to fair value of price back. So once we have a shift in structure, we take that low, we take that high, and we want to see the price do this, go back to fair value of price. That's actually where our limit order is right now. And then continue the same movement. So we do not act on the first leg, we act actually on the second one. Once we are in it, and then we can actually easy take our trade. Reason why that we can take our trade so much more easy is because we already saw that the market was moving in a certain direction. We saw a shift in structure. So we have a huge possibility, if we get a tap off of this, that we continue in that same direction. And the tools that I use on Flip, you can just copy it. So these are what I put in. I only use these numbers, nothing more, nothing less. Make it simple. I'll put it on my screen so that you can copy them, take a screenshot or something that you actually can see it. Just put them in and save it. On the top below, you can save it, put it in on retracement or something like that. If you have those four inside, the 0.5 is normally, once we get tapped and we continue immediately off of it, that means that the market is definitely having strength to the same direction. Once we get to that 62 level or 78 level, those are the levels that we immediately should react off. There is no going through them. But the reason why I didn't take it lower is because I don't see an entry part. We don't have fair value gap, so we have a small fair value gap at 23,000 and a bit, but that's actually not 100% confirmable. But we would enter that. We don't have a 5 minute. We do. Look, I've traded on a 5 minute right now. So we have a 5 minute fair value gap right here. So this is why I'm aiming for this level to continue off of it. So I don't want to see you take a trade. Once we have a structure shift, you need to be patient until at least we get back to fair value of price. So in a discounted area. We do not take a trade on a premium side. So this is premium. And the lower part is discounted area. So if we take a long, we want to take a long at as value of price as good as possible. So the best possible price for your entry is anything below that 50 level. Anything above that 50 level is actually too high of a price that you would pay for an entry for the same trade. Because you would never get to that kind of R that you collected. Because if you were to take a trade, say that we take a trade straight off that 15-minute level, we have a 3R still left. Still possible to take, but we never get to that fair value of price. So market always comes back to fair value of price. Always. Doesn't matter when. Sometimes it takes some time, and sometimes they don't do it directly in London, but that can happen, and then be okay with it. Don't take a trade, just be patient for the next day. The markets has been here so much longer than we are, and the markets will be here so much longer than we will be on this planet. So just never rush into trading. Trading is getting relaxed, being patient, being calm, doing nothing except following the plan. And sometimes the plan works out perfectly fine, and sometimes the plan doesn't work fine. But keep repeating the same process. If that explained, hope that did. Nice. Sometimes we get that entry immediately, and sometimes we have to be patient. And that's great about trading. So if you can have that patience, not to do anything, just sit before that screen and wait and have patience until that limit order comes, and then you have that great trade. This feels so much more good for yourself than actually entering right now, then saw the market go back to your entry and then continue. Then you will feel really less good. Once this hits that entry level, and you then see the market move away from it, even if it goes, say, a little bit lower, say to something like that, You definitely would prefer to enter it right here than right now there. This would make you at least 118 points not in profit, while this is only like 40 points. This is why we have patience for the retests. Does it come? Not always, like I said, but just be okay with it if it doesn't. Like I said, we're here tomorrow too. We'll be on Discord then instead of here, but I do 3 days a week at least. Thursdays are crypto, some Q&A, and a little bit going over the journal. So you're basically going from micro fair value to macro fair value. Yeah, it depends if I'm going with the structure of the market. I'm actually then going from higher back to break of structure downwards. So if you watch that 4 hour, the optimal entry, you can only see that would be right here. So my optimal entry for a 4 hour base would be right here. Above that 7-8 level, stops at that high, and then continue back to the lows. So I take a mini shift in structure that showed me the market is not continuing to the downsides. And where does it go to? That 4 hour and that 1 hour is actually our guidings. So the 4 and the 1 hour shows us the direction where the market is headed. The 15-minute is a lower time frame shift and where we can actually find a great entry point. If you don't see a 15-minute fair value gap laying in fair value of price, you have to be going lower. Do not go to a 1 minute or something like that. I do not recommend it unless you really like scalping and seeing the market move up and down. I'm not a fan of it, so I don't do it. So I just take a 5 minute. If it lays in a fair value of price, I'm okay with it. I just take that entry without thinking because I don't have to think about my entries. They're here. And then once the market gets here, I immediately get triggered in. No more brains can tell me anything, and I just let it go. I preset my entry, I preset my stop, and I don't have to think about it anymore. Especially because if the market is going down, your brain could tell you, oh, please don't take it because the market could go all the way down. It can. But if it does, that means that the analytics behind it was incorrect. And there you have to be okay with it. Someone in the group, Arjun, if he's here today, I don't see him yet, uses orb. So 1 hour before opening, he does pre-orb, and then when opening comes, he does orb again. That's open range breakouts. Full documents are definitely in my Discord. If you cannot find it, if you're in it and you cannot find it, let me know. I'll show you where it is. Just send me a DM. But entry correctly, movement correctly. Like I said, we don't always get that tap. And that's it then. Nothing to change about. But because this got taken by a high right here, this was that shift. So this is that change in character to the upsides. So this shows us that the market definitely has strength to upsides. And if we are lucky, we can have a small retest off of this before that continuation. And sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. But once you get used to trading like this, you actually don't see the market move anymore. I don't even watch the candles anymore. I just have patience until a candle is closed, and then on the basic of a closement of a candle, we know what the market wants to do. If you're in a Discord and you haven't seen the course where I explain every candle and how it moves and how you can read them. Go watch it. It definitely will help you, because candles are actually the language of the market itself. It's like speaking French the first time. The first time you hear it, it's not easy. Same for my language. It's Flemish and it's not an easy language if you have never heard it, because we got verbs that go before a word and there is no explanation why you should use it. It's not feminine, it's not a female or male or anything. You just put it before it. It's no explanation, you just have to learn it. So this is the same with candles. Once you learn the language of it, you can read them and tape read them continuation. The only time you cannot tape read them is once we are ranging or chopping. Those two do not count anything in that's correctly with trading. Same here. Say that the market now moves and we are not in it, and we find another 15-minute based where we could retest off of it. I would still jump in it, put my stop then at the previous low and go continue. I will not put it on all the way to Asia low. I will be patient and then see that step not get evaluated anymore and continue that trade. So say that we now have a huge candle, a 15 minutes. We get it for value gap inside. We have another great candle. And then we have that tap of that 15 minute. I would enter it and continue. I would put my stop then at this wick low. A little bit more risky, but still a valid trade. Because we had a change in character, no full retest, but we had another break of structure. So here we could have that shift to the downside, what I was being patient for. So if we now drop further down, that would be a great entry part. Now definitely I'm taking this. And always watch the higher time frames, because now we are 4 minutes of that hourly. I do not want to see this candle go all the way back now down. I want to see that candle stay at this height and the next hourly do that tap and then continue off of it. I'll explain in a minute why. I'm not used to taking an entry without a candle close. I never placed orders. I see the value in it and trading a pre-thought out plan. Can you set it up and just leave? I'm going to sleep. I don't want to trade. Well, appreciate the explanation in the section. Yeah, you can set it up and just leave it. Make sure that your stop is in also. So you can, if you are trading on a prop firm, you can actually manually set up your trade. And once you get hit, triggered in, you can actually set your stop to make sure it's not above 1 hour for your stop, so that if it gets triggered, you can go and then you can go to sleep. I wish you a very great night rest. So you just set in the limit order and you can just set, okay, look, we measure it, it's about 90 points to the downside. So 90 points. If you trade minis, that's $20 per point. If you trade macros, yeah, minis, that's $2. If you trade macro, that's $20 per point. So make sure that you put in the amount of your stop, and that's it. Yeah, the good thing about this is that you can actually go to sleep without ever having to think about it. If you're definitely putting your stop, make sure it's in it. So once it get to that level, you just gave 1 hour back to the market, and for the rest, you just let the market do its thing for you. Once you learn to trade like this, you will never want to do anything else anymore. It's so much easier because you don't see the price move up and down. You don't. This is why I watch TradingView. So once my trade is done, it's set. I just close that book. I don't watch it again. I will see how the outcome is in about an hour or two, three, once I get back after the screen. Ozul already had his morning walk, so we'll not have him walk again today. I'll take myself a drink. Be right back. So if we zoom out, now we can see that the market is slowly shifting to the downward. And this is actually very great. We have a 30-minute fair value gap right here too. So I hope we get to that fair value price. Let's see if we are still in the fair value price. Yeah. So we're exactly at that fair value price. So we should get that and continue immediately away from it. So the market will now probably go back to this high. We have like a 2, 4 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute for value gaps. We got the tap from here, and then we will look. Now here, we should continue to drop. In the next 30 seconds, I want to see this candle go back down, and then we will definitely get our entry. I do not want to see it get back to that high, because this is something I do not want to see if we want to have that drop. So it should shift and continue to drop right here. If it does not, and we continue up to those highs, we will not have that shift to the downside yet. This is exactly what you want to see. Now the next minute, we should drop back down, hit a close down here and continue to drop. What did we do? We came one more time up to take out our liquidity. We came into a higher time frame for value gaps. We took an internal liquidity and now we should drop. Here you can see we got rejected of this high, and normally now we should see that small drop to the downside. So we did not have that shift immediately, so I'm still being patient. We're still under that liquidity, so we just came back, tapped it, stayed under it, so that's good. So still possible that we shift to the downside. If not, it could be that we will not get our entry, but then be okay with it. It's just a trade. My limiter is still in 23,862. 862, yeah. Okay. I did eat something that was not correct. I'm going back to the bathroom right now. More calls. Still at the same level, so I'm not doing anything yet. If anybody has a question, that's a great time. When am I live? I am live at 9 a.m. Belgium time, so that's about an hour and 18 minutes ago. Simo. What a name. Or as one Simo. That could also be. How do I pronounce your name, my friend? Because is one Simo? Is it Simo? I have actually no idea. But I do prefer to speak it out correctly. Market is definitely stalling right here. So it's been going sideways for a lot of 5 minutes right now. So it's building up some liquidity. So there is a possibility that we will not get a tap. Be okay with it if it doesn't come. Looks like the market wants to rally without us today. Good eye, what the market wanted to do, so I'm happy for that one. Because we now taken out the sideways movement liquidity. So in the next 2 minutes, if we stay above this candle, it's high, we're continuing up. We will not be able to come back down immediately. So sadly enough, no entry, so no trade. If I do not have any trades in the next 20 minutes, I'll be off anyways. Everything's still on the screen, so we will be patient. I spoke a bit too soon. Now, on 5 minutes base, this definitely looks like a rejection that we had off of it. So we swept the liquidity after going sideways. So what does the market do after going a sideways range part? So let me explain too what the market does in this kind of situations. This will help you understand why the market moves in certain directions or sometimes. So this part right here is a chopped market. There is no fair value gaps in 5 minutes, so it's a chopped market. So this means that the market builds up liquidity. So it stays in this area constantly to build up. People are going short, people are going long, and people are not knowing what the market is doing actually. So they're just getting chopped off right now. This means that the market most of the time takes liquidity from the higher part and the under part to actually take both sides out and then continue in a certain direction. So never trade these kind of actions. If there is no fair value gap laying inside each candle that's created the next one, that means that the market is still continuing in the same direction until it shows its hand otherwise. So at this point, the market is still heading up with no excuses or anything else because the market did not take out lows yet. It's just going sideways constantly over and over again. And this is where people get actually confused on what the market wants to do. And this is where people give money back to the market because they have no idea actually on the higher time frame what's going on. So just be patient. That limit order is still set. If we get that tap, we got a great trade. Do not enter anything just out of price movement very fast up or down. This is how people actually give back something to the market that they should not even give to it. So just be patient. We had a 3 minute, small 3 minute shift in structure. So there is a huge possibility that we go down. Look here, we had a shift in structure from 3 minute based. This candle. So we got rejection. We had a huge candle. So we got a 3 minute rejection off of it. There was no fair value gap in here. So if we now start moving, we will move to that entry. Yeah, if it's a no news day, the market most of the time just goes very, very slowly. So now we just have to always watch how far our fair value of price is because look, fair value of price is just a little bit above our entry right now. So if we do not get a tap and I'm still online, I will enter it manually if I see directly a shift back to the upsides. Again, I will repeat this if somebody did not listen yet. If we get to fair value of price and I see the market makes a 3 minute shift back to the upside, I'm going to enter it manually instead of letting the limit order do its thing. Reason why is our fair value of price just went up a little bit. But I would love to see us get us the tap of that 5 minutes. The good thing about this trade is also, if I'm incorrect, if we take out this low, so our stop, if it gets taken out, that means that the market did not shift to the upside yet, and it wants to take everything out. So if we drop below it and we get a 15-minute fair value gap above it, I would enter it and take a short from it too, and then we could actually see the market drop. Yeah. Our next liquidity pool would be that 600 level. So this would be the next liquidity pool. That's still a decent trade down. That will mean that we have a drop at least 300 points, and that means another 166 points from our stop. So definitely something that we could trade. But for now, still being patient. So here comes our entry. If anybody took a small short down, that was definitely possible too. I'm not that kind of trader, so I don't do that. But now I do want to see like that tap at least. And the next 5 minutes, I want to see a strong reaction back off of it. So I got triggered in, I went along, and I want to see a very strong reaction right here. So again, I went along. So we're now trading in this 5-minute fair value gap. We actually took our entry off just below fair value of price. So now we want to see that the market actually needs to go back up. Once it gets above our entry and we see it go all the way back to the high of this candle, we're good to go. But now, just let the market do its thing. If it does not and takes us out, be okay with it. Everything was ordered, everything was set, preset. This was a good trade, by the way. All what you did was have patience until the market came back to the entry, and then it should continue if it wants to go back to opening or fair value of price. If it does not and it wants to continue lower, this is where it just will go flushing through. This strategy has about a 60 to 63% win rate. Like on a year's base, I got 61.7% win rate. So it's not always correct, but be okay with if it's not correct. That can happen. So in the next 20 minutes, I do want to see this candle go all the way back up. So in 20 minutes, we will know if this is a good trade, yes or no. Or it will take us out, or this candle will go all the way back up to the high and slowly continue for the next hour. And this is, if this is not a limit order, this is where people would get A, for not taking a trade, because the market showed shift structure, immediately flushing down. Well, this took a while to get there. Now, very strong candle, and people would not take an entry because the mind would tell them the market is going down right now. This is why we set limit orders, so we cannot just follow that plan constantly over and over again. Now, if you're not okay with taking a trade like I'm doing, you have to learn it because the price will always do its thing. And we're here just to be patient until that price shows its hand. So what did we do? We had patience until the market retested where we actually had that entry. And now the market needs to continue in the direction where we actually wanted it to see. Is it possible it goes further down? Yes. Be okay with it and let the stop do its thing and let your entry do its thing because that's why it's there. It's to maintain capital long enough to make sure your trade is correctly. Because if we get this trade correctly, now that's a 4R and we're only giving 1R profit. So that's a very decent trade. And once you get to that limit orders too, you should most of the time almost immediately get in profit. So look, this jumped a little bit lower, and now the market should take this candle back up. If this comes all the way back down to this level, this will probably not be a good trade. But my trades can take up to 2-3 hours. Just be okay with it. Your stop is here doing its thing. Your entry is doing its thing. So it's not a minute candle that we trade. We trade 15 minutes. So we had the patience until the market had to come back down. So here we have a 5-minute for value gap now. Now I want to see continuation. And if you trade long enough with me, you will see I will take all my trades like this. This makes it easier for everybody. If we get to 23,918, I'm gonna put my stop at our wicks low, just below our entry. So I want to see go. So once we get to this level, I'm gonna change my stop to that wicks low. So if anybody has a question, it's a good time to ask. In about 10 minutes, I get off. I will let this trade do its thing. I will manage it once it's needed, and everything's on the screen, so you guys can do what you want. Oh, full TP is opening gap. So if you want to take a little bit sooner, these two here, right here, is equal highs. Definitely a good part to take profit too. That would give you a 2.4R, definitely a great rate. See you tomorrow, Philip. Enjoy. I'm gonna take a look if my drink is ready yet. Otherwise, give me a chat. Give me a thumbs up too. I would appreciate it always. It helps the channel grow. If you ever want to stop drinking coffee, I got a great substance to actually give you more focus and better. It also has a little bit of caffeine inside, but actually it's better for your brain. It's called 100%. If you can find this, go buy it. This will definitely change the way that you feel behind the computer when you're in a trade. It will make you more relaxed. The market should not come back to our entry right now. So I'll show exactly why. So what did we do? We came up, we had a shift structure, we came back, we tapped for value gaps, and now we should continue to the upside. So if you want to put your stop at this wick low, you can. If it drops back down right now, we're going to take out the low. So you can have the option to put your stop at this wick low. If we do come back down, there is a possibility that we do not continue to the upside. I'm not going to move anything. I'm just going to let it stay straight to its thing. It's just for somebody that's new to this kind of strategy. This is the way that you can actually improve your stats a little bit faster. But it's still up to you what you want to do. For me, this trade still looks good at this point. So we have a small void right here too that we could go to one more time. I got a full video about this, explaining what a void is. If you've never heard of it, definitely something that you can watch. And the reason why cocoa is better than coffee is because less caffeine inside, so it makes you less nervous, and it gives you theobromine inside, what gives you actually energy for 6 hours instead of like an hour max with coffee. And if you're a very nervous person, you should not be drinking coffee at all. So now we're tapping the last little for value gap that we had. Okay, let me show it to you on a different time zone. So look, I do watch on other charts. So here we have one more minute for value gap inside. So we could tap this one more time and continue. So you can see that we are practically never in not profit. This is how a great trade actually always should be. So you get an entry and almost immediately the market starts shifting to your direction. And it should stay in that direction too. So now we will have that tap. And in the next 2 minutes, I want to see this candle go all the way back up. So here's that 1 minute tap that we got. So here's the movement that I want to see, and now this one should move all the way back up. Here we go. So in 5 minutes, I'm getting off. There's no more questions for me. You all see what the market wants to do. So just being patient. We cannot move the market at all. We just have our entry model, how we take our trades, and we just repeat that process over and over again until you just get used to it, that the market just does its thing, and we just take an entry. And we take a small partial out of the full movement of the market, of course. We never have everything what we want. So if you want to have this structure shift, actually first TP could be right here if you want to. So this should be TP1 if you want to take a small partial, or put your stop at break even at this point. TP1 at 23,995. You can see how clear and actually how strong that entry is, because look, the market actually is holding constantly in this small little space where actually our entry was. This is why fair value of price is so important, because this is the market where people or the buyers step in to push the market again in the direction where it wants to be going, or when the sellers actually just go through every buyer and just takes out the next liquidity down the downside. This is why fair value of price for that 7.62 level and that 7.8 level is so important for your entry. So I need to get off. I have a call in about 30 minutes, so I definitely need to be there. So I need to prepare a little bit and get my ass off my screen. If you took that trade with me, if you take a profit, make sure you don't trade again. We come back tomorrow, do the thing over again, and we will make a little bit more. And this is how you get repeated processes over and over again and make sure that you get a living out of it. Not by going 20 trades a day. This is not going to help your mindset. It's not going to make you a profitable trader unless you are a very good scalper, but I have never seen so many good scalpers around. So if that is not you and you are the one that wants to trade every day, like 15 trades, I would definitely recommend stop doing that, because it will not help you in the long run. So I wish you all a very great trading session. I'm very happy that you were all here. And tomorrow it's in Discord, live trading. Thursdays I'll be online to do crypto, go over the trading, reviewing and everything. If I can share my screen on two sides, I'll try to stream on Wednesday here too. Otherwise, it will be for next week's Monday. I wish you all a great trading week for the rest of the week, and enjoy. If you want to join my Discord, there is a link in the description above somewhere, a link in my bio somewhere that you can join. If you want to take the course that I'm at, it's about the same price and you get 6 months free in my Discord. So it's up to you. I'm here helping everybody. So enjoy, and I'll see you back on Monday. Have a great day.